All right, Grand Rising. It is morning. Peace, power, and love is always in greeting. Um, if you're liking the content, as I always say, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share the content. Like I've always stated, I'm a Panther Party member, and I consider this my job. I consider if I, I consider it a disservice if I don't say anything. I consider it a disservice if I, remain silent. My silence to me is complicity. To me, silence is complicity. And with all that's, going on in this country, um, yeah, that's a lot to talk about. Just, too much to talk about. You get lost in all of the mayhem that is consuming this country right now. Um, would also like to take the time to welcome my activatemedia.org family as well, because they get my broadcast replayed on activatemedia.org on Fridays at 9 p.m. And I've been linked up with them and my brother Patrick Wilson now for going on 2 years now. And I appreciate the opportunity just to be part of his platform, and also to be able to bring, you know, stories that concern us, circumstances that should be in the back of all of our minds by now. Even though it's 2023, sometimes it seems like it's still 1823. Uh, and like I say, I want to thank him for, allowing me to be part of his platform. Today, I want to talk about something that I'm sure by now, this happened on December the 2nd. Um, and I mean, what can we do as black men and black women to not be harassed by these coward ass cops? Um, I get tired of hearing white society, and I'm not putting everybody, but those of you who follow me know I'm not racist. And then let me just go in and say this: racism is a power structure. So there is no way that anybody black can be racist. How can we be racist when all we're doing is speaking out against the racism that we suffer from? Now, black people do have the capability to be prejudiced, and with just cause, because look at how we're treated even today in 2023. I mean, what is it that we can do to not be harassed and brutalized by these coward ass cops? And I'm gonna say this too: um, racist is a racist to me, but the worst racist is that white woman racist, because she is the nurturer, the teacher. And see, this is how racism continues to evolve even in 2023, because you still have the racist mindset that has been passed on from generation to generation to generation. The inferiority that they possess while wanting the world to think that they are a superior being, which is definitely not the case. And I've said this several times with no disrespect to anybody, but you are the superior race. We are the superior race of people. Hands down. Nobody does it better than we do. Hands down. But my question to you racists that always can fix your lips to talk about compliance. And there have been so many instances over the past few years where we find ourselves in compliance, but still being brutalized, still being mishandled and mistreated by these coward ass cops who have the power of this no good for nothing justice system on his side. We have a case that happened in Pickens County, Alabama, and y'all do some research on Pickens County. You'll find that Pickens County, which is in Alabama, was one of those sundown towns. You know, and we all know, we all should know what sundown towns are. They were towns where the dark better not catch you within their city limits, or something may happen to you if you have the right complexion. So Pickens County still seems to be a sundown town. And then you have these coward punk police like Dana Elmore. And I'm just wondering how many times she's done this, but you know, we've seen drinking coffee while black, you get harassed. Hell, walking to the store to get a tea and a bag of Skittles can get you killed. We have saw so many instances where just being black seems to be an issue with everyone, with certain people. Excuse me. I won't say everyone, but seems to be a problem for certain people. And now we have, you know, we got walking while black, jogging while black, bird watching while black. I mean, we can't do anything and be ourselves without being harassed or brutalized. Harassed by some racist Karen or Ken, or brutalized by one of these punk coward cops. Even in compliance. Even in compliance. So, for all of you racist white men and white women who always fix your lips to say, well, he should have just complied. He should have just complied. Compliance will still get you hurt. So I'm not big on compliance. You know, I think we should be respectful until we're disrespected. And in most cases, we're disrespected upon approach. There have been several instances where I have saw these policemen deal with white individuals, black individuals, and a whole different attitudes. And it starts on the approach. Even when I've been pulled over, and I have saw on several occasions, you know, they pull over a white man or a white woman when they get to the window and see who they're dealing with. There is a rapport. Hi, how are you? Well, the reason I pulled you over was, and I've been pulled over a few times, and I know from experience, that's not how we're approached ever. ever. We're never. I need to see your driver's license and your insurance proof of registration. It's just like that. Where you work? Where you coming from? Where you going? Those are questions that are never posed to other individuals, to individuals who have the complexion for the protection. See, and just like in this case with the young man, and see, this is what bothers me. They target us, and any opportunity that they have to engage, they jump on it. And in this particular scenario, this particular police brutality, it is bothersome. This young man, Micah Washington, 24 years old, was changing a flat tire. Changing a flat tire while black is now another one that we can put on the list. And when you're changing a tire while black, from now on, be vigilant. Be vigilant of your surroundings. Keep your phone in your pocket, just in case while you're changing that tire, one of these race soldiers pull up, like in the case that's happening right now with Micah Washington and this punk cop, Dana Elmore. And I want to read to you something real quick, because I saw an interview that the young man done on, I believe it was ABC. I believe it was ABC News that I saw this on, but he was still very visibly shaken by what had happened to him with just cause. Because, see, these are the type of situations that these punk race soldiers escalate so that they can pull tasers and weapons. Now, in this case, changing a flat tire while black. Micah Washington was not pulled over on a traffic stop. He wasn't pulled over because he was driving erratically. He wasn't pulled over because he didn't signal before 100 feet before his turn, as they can so eloquently put it every time they pull one of us over for not signaling. And I'm sure that some of you have heard this before. Some of you who look like me, where you didn't signal 100 feet before your turn. Hey, follow them sometimes. They don't even turn on the signal. Now, in this case, this punk cop, Dana Elmore, takes it upon herself to approach a young man, Micah Washington, while he's changing a flat. Him and his brother, and I believe his cousin was with him as well, because the brother, let me get off into this. He told Channel NBC that he was changing a flat tire on the side of the road near his aunt's home when Elmore approached and asked to see his ID. Now, that right there, let's stop right there. I've changed a flat or two in my life, and I've had to, unfortunately, change a flat on the side of the road before. Now, that's not a crime. Now, if she was really doing her job and protecting and serving, because it appears from the video that they were on a two-lane highway, traffic flow one way, then traffic flows back this way. So what she could have done was provided help. Turning on her lights, parking behind his vehicle to ensure that he's not struck by a vehicle passing him. And maybe even stood there while he changed the flat tire to assure that he wasn't hit or struck by another vehicle. But no, what does she do? She takes this opportunity to approach this young black man, because you know all black people are doing something illegal. Changing a tire on the side of the road. All black people sell drugs. All black people use drugs. This is the racist mindset of most individuals who look like Dana Elmore. She's a racist with a badge and a gun and the authority to do bullshit like what she did to this young man. She says that she approached, asked for his ID, and he complied. I wouldn't have given her nothing. I'm not doing anything criminal. I'm changing a flat tire. I had a blowout. Could you turn your lights on for me to make sure that I don't get hit by a passing vehicle? No, that's not the mindset when they see someone that looks like you or me. It is all black people are doing something criminal. Okay. So she reportedly began to ask what was wrong. Washington asked what was wrong and why he had to show his ID while complying. And you can even see in the video, that he's not resisting. And when the video starts, he had already been tased by this race soldier once. And that's when the brother started recording after she tased him the first time and he fell. And when the video starts, you can see her helping him up while handcuffed behind his back. No longer a threat. And let's go ahead and add this to the scenario, because he was carrying a weapon, which is within his legal rights to do as long as he has the proper documentation to do so. Done nothing criminal so far other than changing a tire. So he continued, and then she asked me to go stand in the back of the car. But he was like, I'm not being, he asked, am I being detained? And I don't have to do, wait, let me get this right. She asked me to go stand in the back of the car, but I was like, I'm not being detained and I don't have to do anything. Which is true. He hadn't committed any type of a crime to be detained. He was simply changing a flat tire. And so she goes on to take him and place him on the hood of her police vehicle. And he said he was more worried about his brother than he was himself. And let me see. It says that he began recording, and there was a friend with him, and he told his friend to go get the victim's aunt. After Elmore ordered him to get up against the car, he was handcuffed, and she found a gun in his pocket, which he was legally carrying. Then she starts to get that smirk, that, oh yeah, we saw the video. And she puts the stun gun on his back. And she tases him again. Then you can hear her saying, shut the fuck up. He's in pain. You hear him hollering, oh my God. Then you can hear her in her arrogance, like most of these punk cops. In her arrogance, she asked him, do you want it again? Oh yeah, you was a tough guy back then. Shut your bitch ass up. We can hear her plain and clear on the video. This is the arrogance, and this is the professionalism Okay, so uh, she goes on. He's taken to jail. They charged him with being a felon in possession of a firearm, but the only problem with that is he's not a felon. They also had charged him with being in possession of cocaine laced with fentanyl. Now, we see, she said that she found on his person while searching him. We can clearly see in the video that when she reached into his pocket, she pulled out a weapon. She reached into his left pocket. She pulled out nothing. They said that they done a field test on the drugs. There were no drugs ever pulled out. A felon in possession of a weapon. This young man has never had any type of altercations or run-ins with the law. He was not a felon. Needless to say, these charges were all dropped after the video surfaced. And then she has been placed on administrative leave while the Alabama State Bureau of Investigation does investigation. The police department in Pickens County, the Reform Police Department, deemed this a citizen's arrest. No, this was no citizen's arrest. This was an arrest, an illegal arrest of a citizen by a rogue race soldier, is what it was. And now she's been placed on administrative leave while she's being investigated by her peers. Some things don't need to be investigated. When an officer behaves in this type of character, that should be an automatic dismissal. Automatic. There is no ifs, ands, nor buts about it. She should be no longer allowed to be a police in Reform Pickens County and for Reform Police Department in Pickens County or any other police department in America. This is what should happen to these out of control race soldiers. I'm going to be keeping up with this case because this really is just one of those incidents that had his brother not turned on his camera and started filming, they were getting ready to trump up some charges against him. They were going to, the gun charge with the felon wouldn't have stuck because he's not a felon, but had he not been filming, yeah, they could have easily found a bag of cocaine laced with fentanyl to place into evidence. They had him under, I think it was a $500,000 bond. So just imagine what would have become of this young man had his brother not had the whereabouts to turn on his camera. We would have been hearing about a young man, Micah Washington, wrongly arrested, wrongly accused, but they would have by then been able to pull up and make at least one of those charges stick. See, and this is what we have to deal with as black people. And then you think about this one instant here and just imagine how many times this happens on a daily basis in America. This is something, and one of the reasons why I do what I do. This is something that should bother everyone that looks like me or you. So, with that being said, can we be more vigilant about one another? Can we care a little more about one another? Because this could be your son, your nephew, my nephew, hell, me or you, any one of us. So, with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. That's all I got. Man, we need each other. These types of incidents is the reason why I say we need each other. Period. We all we got. Now, with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. Like I always say in closing, let's plan, let's organize, let's unify. We all got a key right here, right here. I love y'all, and I'm out. Peace, power, and love.